Hello, welcome to another episode of Montana Shares, your opportunity to find out about the nonprofits that make our state so great. Today we've got Liann here with Montana Supporting Soldiers. Welcome, Liann.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
How are you doing?
Doing well.
Good. So, Montana Supporting Soldiers, tell us about what you do, how it got started, that kind of thing.
I started it back in 2003 when my son was in basic training in the Air Force, and I learned through an online Air Force family support group of so many of our troops that were deployed never had gotten a card, any mail, package, nothing, and it happened, and it still happens frequently, and you know, it's devastating to their morale when they watch their buddies get all of these, you know, nice packages and letters from home and they don't get anything. So I decided I had to do something to change that, and I was surprised how much it grew across the state and into other states, and because right there in the beginning, you know, people wanted to do all they could to support our troops and just didn't know how to do it. So we provide them that way to do it.
Okay, so more specifically, what type of things do you send and how often do you send them and that type of thing?
We have on our website, a lot of the troops get a hold of us through there, and quite a few of them, especially Special Forces, they deploy quite often, and they'll contact us, and we send them a questionnaire so we know, because it varies so much. Some are living on the mountainside of Afghanistan and might not even have a tent or sleeping bag, and others are in what they call Connex. They're kind of like dorms per se, so it varies so much, and so we ask them to let us know what they need, and we'll send packages. We meet weekly normally, and you know, they'll say, let us know what they're needing, and so we get that stuff together, and then we all the time have your basic things that everybody's going to need, like toiletries, and we send healthy snacks. We don't like to send a lot of them, you know, they're training and work hard, and they don't want candy and whatnot. They want like jerky, especially high country jerky. They love that, and getting something from Montana. And nuts, you know, think travel, you know, the small things that they can stuff in their pockets and their packs, and oatmeal in the packets, and tuna in the pouch. And then going into the cold season, we'll send a lot of hot chocolate mix, and coffee is always a high commodity. We never put coffee on the custom forms. It's drink mix, because it might not get to where it's supposed to go. It's good coffee is a treasure over there.
Okay, so if you're not sending this, what are they eating and what are they drinking that they're surviving on if you're not sending them these good things?
A lot of them, well, they still have the MREs, the ones out in the field, and you can only eat so many of those. And even we send stuff to the Bagram Hospital. We also take care of the wounded over there, but they still like fresh snacks and variety. I mean, it's not like they can go to Walmart and get anything they want. There was a dog handler that she wanted the golden Oreos, and they all have their little thing that they really like, and just trying to, you know, keep reminding them that people do support them and appreciate what they're doing over there, and make things as close to home as we can for them.
Okay. And so you work with those deployed troops. What else do you do as far as more home front type of work?
We do quite a bit for Montana Wounded Warriors. When we find out, sometimes it's kind of hard to find out about them, but we've helped, like Tommy Parker, the Wounded Marine in Ronan. He lost both of his legs and his fingers on his left hand, and we helped him build an addition onto his mom's home a few years ago before he got his own house built, and because he had to stay in a motel, he couldn't get in her house. So we helped with bed and bedding and fridge and couch and things like that. And then we helped another soldier with some home repairs. He had his grandmother's house, but we helped to get a new water pump and bedding for him and his daughter, and fix the window and the door. And Bo Reichenbaugh, they had the dedication a couple days ago for his house in Billings. He lost both of his legs. He was a Navy SEAL. And he and his dad built that house, and we furnished or gave them some funds to do some of that too, because they wanted to build their own instead of going through one of the programs.
Mm-hmm.
So we try to do, and then when they're in the hospital in Walter Reed, we've sent care packages to them, so like if they got kids there, because they'll be there for months, sometimes years, and we'll send fun things for their kids and books and magazines and stuff for Montana and T-shirts, and just to let them know that Montana's thinking about them. So, you know, and they can let us know different things that they need.
Okay. And funding. Tell us a little bit about where you get your funding for all this work.
And another thing I should mention too is that we also do is work with the Willis Cruz House, the homeless veteran transition home. We take monthly meals over to them, and they'll help us with care packages, and we take them gifts, you know, for Christmas and whatnot. And so we like to work with those guys as much as we can. And funding, we get, most everything is through donation or Montana Shares. And we do fundraisers throughout the year and have booths at events. And like right now, you got the State Employees Charitable Giving Campaign and the Combined Federal Campaign, but it's mostly through donations. So we depend on that for money both to get the items that we don't have on hand or in the shipping. We go to the post office with an average between 20 and 30 boxes, and it can be anywhere from $400 to $800 shipping.
And is shipping your primary expense probably?
Yes, it is. It's a huge, huge expense.
Okay. And is this paid staff, volunteers? What's your organization structure?
All volunteers. I work full-time and do this the rest of the waking hours of the day. But we don't have any paid staff. We're all volunteers. And there's about 20 of us between here, and we have some volunteers. We have a volunteer coordinator in Missoula, Kay Collins, and we have some people up in the Flathead Valley too. And then once in a while we'll do things in Great Falls with the base and down in Bozeman area.
Okay, great. And you've got something coming up, right?
Yes, we are just starting our Christmas for the Troops campaign. We have to start it early. I used to hate it when there was Christmas decorations in the store before Halloween, but now I like it because, you know, we need some of those things. We always buy at the end of season. We'll always get the decorations on sale and then store them. But we are collecting items so that we can get them sent mid-November over to the troops so they have a good Christmas. It's even harder for them to be deployed during Christmas, so we like to send them some fun decorations and items that, you know, a little bit more than what they normally can receive, just to make it a little better. And we have donation boxes around town. We always have one at Precision Embroidery behind Walmart.
Okay. Over
on Billings Avenue. Vans Thriftway, Allegra, Hunters Point, Scenic Brew, Recharge Salon and Spa, Stockman's Bank downtown, and Christopher and Banks. They just moved into their brand new location in, I think it's Cromwell-Dixon Lane, the new little shopping area by Home Depot. They'll be next to World Market. So. Okay. And they have a collection box there, and they will give a 10% discount on your purchase if you bring in an item for the troops.
Okay. What goes in the box? What do you need?
What the main things that we need are fruit and protein snacks, drink mix. We like to send electrolyte type. We don't want to send Kool-Aid or Crystal Light. We want, you know, ones that with electrolytes, vitamins. Because even in the winter, they drink so much water over there, it gets a little boring drinking plain water. Hot chocolate mix, socks, underwear. They like the boxer briefs in medium and large size, and a few women's sizes as well. And blankets, nothing, you know, huge, but like a fleece blanket. They really like those. And we also give those to the patients in the hospitals too. Toiletries, and when the travel size toiletries are the best, so when people are, you know, traveling and bring the ones back from the motels, those are what what they want the best. It's kind of hard to carry a huge bottle of shampoo in your pocket. So.
Right.
And coffee, as I mentioned, and nuts and hand warmers. We'll send a lot of hand warmers because like the ones that are out on patrol, and then also the airmen that are working out on the flight line at the base there in Bagram. And you know, it gets pretty dang cold out there. It's amazing. Some winters it's colder over there in Afghanistan than it is here. So, and we have on our website, mtsupportingsoldiers.com. We have a list. It's under the care package tab, and it's the winter list that we'll be sending now through first part of spring.
Okay.
And people can get more ideas, but those are the basics.
Let's run through those one more time, just so the people know the locations. Lock them down one more time for them.
Precision Embroidery, which, like I say, is a permanent location. Vans Thriftway, Allegra, Hunters Point, Scenic Brew, Christopher and Banks, Recharge Salon and Spa, and Stockman's Bank downtown.
Okay, super. So what else can people do? Obviously, they can give through workplace giving, which we're in the time for that. I'm assuming they can mail donations or send them to you some way from your website. Is that correct?
Yes, we have a PayPal. They can do it online, or our address is on our website, but it is Box 4964 in Helena 59604. And those are tax-deductible donations. And you know, and just if people want to get a few things, I mean, they don't have to spend a lot. It just, every little thing helps a tremendous amount with the items. And we're always looking for volunteers. And each person has their own unique skills and what they can contribute. Some ladies, we never see them to come help with packages, but when we have dinners for the Special Forces, they love to cook. And we get lots of, you know, really nice food, and we have some ladies that like to write cards and organize events, and everybody has their own little thing that they like to do. So we always are open to new volunteers and new ideas and new fundraising ideas too.
Okay, I imagine someone's got to be a master packer since packing is such a huge part of your organization.
Yes.
Someone's probably really good at being precision in the packing and make sure it gets there safe.
Yes, in fact, I give every new person kind of a how-to 101, because it isn't like when it's going across the country, you can just put a little packing in. These, especially during the holidays, if that box is on the bottom of a 6-foot-high pile, it's got to hold up to all of that weight. And they get thrown on trucks, thrown on the ground, sorted, thrown on. I mean, they get hammered going over there. We go through lots and lots of heavy-duty packing tape. And that's something, too, that we like to help the families of those that are deployed. They want to send something, they're not sure what to send or how to send it. You can't just throw everything in the shampoo and all of it in one little box and expect it to get there. The prep work is what takes a lot. We tape the lids on everything, on the powders and the liquids, and we put toiletries in its own bag, dental items in their own bag, and snacks. So for two reasons, so it doesn't, you know, leak all over. Plus, when it gets there, we do them in the quart size. They can grab that and take it. It's easier for them. But the packing is, yeah, we go through a lot of packing peanuts too.
And so we tend to accumulate that type of thing. Is that something that we have some way to get to you? Or do you have a good supply of that?
Oh, we're always needing packing peanuts, and it is more of a challenge now. We're in the mall, in the old vanity store, and we're kind of isolated there now that Leslie's and Christopher and Banks have moved, because people would just put it outside of our gate there. Well, they block that off. The outside door, you have to go in the main entrance in the mall now, and they blocked us off on that end. So I've talked with Cliff's Jewelry to see if, you know, if people can drop stuff off there, but you can, like I say, drop it off at Precision Embroidery, and we can go by and get the packing peanuts, because we can always use those. So.
Okay. That brings to mind, so if someone is out there and they own a building and it's got some empty space in it, should they be calling you up and helping you out with some new space?
We're talking more. I mean, we've all, you know, the mall has been so uncertain the last couple of years anyway, but now even more so that there's hardly anybody left in there. And we've kind of started looking around town And I said, we've got to secure some funding and get a permanent spot, because we plan on doing this for years. We're going to be deployed somewhere. In fact, my son is leaving next month for Korea. And we send to, there's about 7 different countries that I can't mention all of them, but that we send. It's not just Iraq and Afghanistan. And we're going to have troops deployed, and we're going to be there supporting them as long as they're deployed. So we need a permanent home.
So if anyone has an empty space, contact you and talk to you about it.
I'd appreciate
a great
that.
donation, without a doubt. So the your goal, I mean, just to try to wrap it up, your goal is to try to make deployed troops' lives a lot better. Is that?
That is it.
Sum
yes.
it up, really?
Yes. And right now we have 3 Montana National Guard units and 1 Montana Air Guard unit that are deployed, plus several from Montana that are active duty, and it's harder to find out about the active duty ones unless they contact us or their family does. But even ones that aren't from Montana, our main focus, that's why I started it, because there's so many that don't ever get a letter or package, anything, and it's devastating the morale. They're over there doing their job, and we just need to let them know they aren't forgotten.
So people can help out at pretty much any level, or whether even
Yes.
just writing cards and things like that probably has to be really helpful for the
Yes,
morale.
and we love getting cards from school students and retirement homes. We get a lot from retirement homes, and there's some ladies that do a phenomenal job making cards, and they'll get them to us. And we take that all year. We don't just do things during Christmas. We send packages all year. It averages about 1,000 troops that we support. Some will come home and more go over, and it just kind of remains steady.
Okay. Well, I think we've covered most of the basics. Anything you want to wrap up with here, or any final thoughts?
Oh, just whatever people can do to help, and also the families back home. It's hard for them when they have a loved one deployed, and especially if they're guard. They don't have that income from their normal job coming in, and invite them over to dinner, the spouse or, whoever it is deployed in the family, and see if you can help the families out in any way. If they need some home repairs, take care of the kids to give mom or dad a break while they're gone, and just, let the families know, because the troops can concentrate on their job and do a better job if they know the families back home are taken care of.
Right. Makes perfectly good
Yeah.
sense. You bet. Well, thank you for coming in and
Thank you.
letting our viewers find out more about what you do. I often joke that we kind of live and die by 25 words and brochures and the giving places around town and whatnot, so this is always a fun opportunity to take a little more time to show what really is going on in the organization. Thank you for doing that.
You're quite welcome. We know how much it means to the troops, and we don't always hear from them, but getting an email on how much it means to them that's what keeps us going.
Wonderful. Great.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you guys for tuning in and finding out more about Montana Supporting Soldiers. Check out their website. Help them out however you can. There's so many different ways you can do that. And thank you for tuning in. Have a great day.